Hello friends in District 4, this is Commissioner Ryan Baty, and I'd like to share with you a quick update on a situation we are working on here at Sedgwick County. In late 2024, we learned that the Kansas Department of Corrections planned to make adjustments to the formula that establishes funding to local counties and jurisdictions that are performing community corrections programming. To provide a little context, I think it'd be helpful. In 1978, the Kansas Community Corrections Act was signed into state law, and it provided structured alternatives to things like incarceration. It was designed to reduce prison overcrowding, and it was also designed to promote public safety through community-based supervision of felony offenders. This program isn't a product or an idea of local government. It's state law, and our county is required to provide intensive supervision to an average of 1,100 felony offenders each day. Kansas funds community corrections programs really through a combination of state grants that are administered through KDOC and local county contributions. These funding streams are essential to ensuring that there is an appropriate level of supervision for all of these clients. Some of these clients are violent or even sex offenders. And not only do we provide the supervision to promote rehabilitation, but it's also to provide safety to the rest of the community that shares public space with those who are currently involved in our corrections programming. Now, it's worth noting, I'm an advocate for these programs, and I really do believe that they provide great benefit. The vast majority of people that are entering into our state or federal correctional facilities will one day come back to our community. So it's imperative that we focus our supervised programming on effective ways to rehab them. And I think this is an effective rehabilitation strategy. But, and let me be perfectly clear, it's only a beneficial strategy if the programming is properly funded and resourced. And that is now being threatened. Based on the new formula, the Kansas Department of Corrections is scheduling Sedgwick County, our county, they're scheduling us to receive a 38% cut in KDOC funding beginning in 2027. 38%. How does our county, which has the state's highest number of felony offenders under supervision, with nearly 25% of these individuals being sent here from other communities across Kansas, how does our county receive a cut that will decimate our ability to provide safe levels of oversight to these felony offenders? It makes no sense. The answer, I fear, is just plain old politics. The Secretary for Kansas Department of Corrections was appointed by Governor Laura Kelly in 2019. The Secretary signaled that the state wanted to explore a new funding formula in 2024 with direction from the Community Corrections Advisory Committee. The results from this committee's suggested funding approach are really troubling. Those counties and those jurisdictions that actually served and participated in this committee, every single one of them, with the exception of one, all received funding increases. Allen and Neosho, that jurisdiction, saw a 30% increase. Dickinson and Geary, 16% increase. Labette and Crawford, a 24% increase. And our colleagues in the Northeast, Johnson County, they actually wrote the formula, they're receiving a 36% increase. While Sedgwick County, who was not even extended an invitation to participate in these funding discussions, and with the biggest need in the entire state, we're left with a 38% reduction in funding that totals nearly $2.1 million. If the goals are to equip local communities to perform these services for felony offenders and give them good resources, while also simultaneously protecting the community from reoffenses of crime, well, this funding allocation makes no sense. To be clear, the total pot of KDOC grant money, that's not changing or being lowered. The only changes are how they want to choose to allocate the funds to local communities. And it's deeply concerning that those that were in the room in these discussions developing this formula, they're the ones benefiting, while those that were not in the room are being left out and being punished with cuts. As the County Commission became aware of the potential changes in the funding, we began actively communicating with the Governor's office on these concerns. For months, we were told that our concerns are valid and that discussions were taking place with Kansas Department of Corrections to address the proposed cut. But now, just recently, We have learned that these discussions were not fruitful, and this funding formula is being presented as final. Our continued appeals to Governor Kelly and the Kansas Department of Corrections, as well as our state legislature when they return to session in January of 2026, these appeals are going to elevate. They're going to elevate to a feverish pitch. And the people in our community should watch very closely to how folks in Topeka respond to this obvious and what I believe to be an intentional snub of Sedgwick County. Kansas needs a community corrections funding formula that is transparent and that's equitable. The current approach completely misses the mark, and it puts our residents, our neighbors, our families, it puts us and the programming that we're providing to these felony offenders, it puts us at greater risk. I think this is one of the most pressing issues we are dealing with here in Sedgwick County. And we're going to continue sounding the alarm bells loudly and publicly. And we're asking the state to take another look at this funding formula. I'm going to keep you posted on our progress, and I'm going to keep you posted via my social media and even some future newsletters. If you have any questions, or if you simply want to share some feedback or maybe ask how you can help, I'd love to hear from you. Please feel free to give us a call here at the office or send me an email directly. We'll keep working on this. As always, thank you, District 4.